Namaste, Sacred Masters, and welcome to this pick a card session for your shadow work. We have the deck shuffle and 3 random cards from the Dark Mirror Oracle deck placed before you. If you want to purchase this deck, look for the link in the description box below. You can pause the video and take your time to see if any of these cards resonate with you, and then use the time code in order to jump to the card you choose. This is card 1, 2, and 3. Don't forget there are many more pick a card videos to choose from. You can find them in my playlist, Shadow Work Pick a Shadow Card, on my channel's main page, so don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell for more pick a card sessions. After you pick your card, I will explain what each card means in the book. Now, the book's description is poetic and can be confusing sometimes, but for the sake of sharing, I will read it out and give you my interpretation of it. You will hear my interpretation when I remove my mask and speak with my normal voice. I will also give you a shadow prompt in order to get started on some shadow work based on the card you pick, together with Grabovia codes to help with your shadow work sessions, or sometimes a link to another video relating to the matter. Alright, let's get started. Pick a card and jump to the timestamp. The card you chose is called The Child I Was Meant to Be. It is represented by the full moon and is illustrated with tones of lemon yellow and plum magenta with casings of sky blue and bright morning white. The serene face of a woman with gentle gesture holds a small growing plant made of dreams and new leaves. The sentence that resonates with this card is, "To go forward is to go backwards, as hope heals the wounds of the past." This is a card of connection with ourselves. So many times it feels like a dream. It's fleeting, uncertain, and yet clear. The moment you close your hand to grasp it, it turns into a fairy light and disappears. But it remains as a lingering smell, an ephemeral feeling of light and peaches and blossoms. It is faith. It is hope. It is a warm smile at the other side of the forest of smoke and mirrors. We can be whole again. We can be pure again. We can be happy again. No matter what we did, we can. Just know this as a gift of light among the cruel darkness. It brings no road, sometimes no solace, but it can become a seed of hope, a wind of change, a place for safety in a storm. Even if it's gone, it was definitely here.
We know that within all of us is an inner child, which I call the shadow child. I have a whole entire playlist just on healing the shadow child and why it's important. So this card relates to a whole entire journey one must take. It is perhaps so important that it took me 7 videos to guide others into proper healing and growth, which you can see on the link above or description below. But if you want something simple as a shadow prompt, ask yourself, what as a child have I not been given enough of? Every shadow child has unhealed or unexpressed wounds. For some, it could be not getting enough love and attention from our primary caregivers. For others, it was being told that we were not good enough. Begin to ask yourself sincerely and look back in the past, because this can be intense. My playlist of Shadow Child Healing includes meditation, which you can use as well to make it easier. Or you can use the Grabovia number 572-52241 for inner child healing. If you want to know how to use Grabovia codes in your sessions for meditating or journaling, check out the link above or in the description box below. I hope this session gives you something to work on. Pick up your shadow journals and let's start finding our inner and true authentic self. I'll try to post more pick a card every week depending on my schedule, so that gives you some time to sit with your shadow prompt and begin working on positive changes to a new life. If you found something new about yourself, don't forget to comment and share with others as well. This not only helps build courage and self-esteem, but it also encourages others that they are not alone. I'll see you in the next session. Namaste.
The card you picked is Parasite. It is represented by the waxing crescent moon and is illustrated with a long-haired man with pale-faced heavy lids. A dull golden chain drapes over his forehead. Around his body and through his body, poisonous ivy grows and clings subtly to him. The sentence that resonates with this card is, "What can't survive alone will seek company, but instead of growing together, they will wither together." What this card is trying to say is that relationships is not a zero-sum game. Of course, using each other is part of the game, but it's quite different when use takes the shape of supporting rather than manipulation or exploiting. In the long run, a good relationship is a win-win, where the more I give, the more I get, and the other way around. Still, it's not always like this, isn't it? Not just in bad relationships. In the short run, bad is bound to happen even in a house of true love. We cling, we bite, we hunger for safety and freedom and support. And on the other side, we get mangled, bitten, demanded on. Well, it happens too often. It creates a toxic environment. It doesn't matter if we are the victim or the perpetrator, as poison is shared equally. One gets the pain, another gets the advantage. But the toxic part, they both get fully a parasite, a leech, killing itself as much as it kills the host. It sacrifices the journey to the destination, and then the destination to its own failures. The problem is not living as sheep, but the true problem is living as a sheep for 100 years.
Now, it doesn't have to be a love relationship, but toxic relationships can extend to even family and friends. As long as a relationship makes you unhappy and you feel a sense of burden, you are in a toxic relationship. They are sometimes hard to spot because we deny it by choosing to remember only the moments of love. Toxic relationships happen because there is a lack of trust, honesty, and support. Sprinkle it with communication issues, jealousy, regret, disrespect, and lack of self-care, and you have a golden recipe for toxic relationships. For most of us, we can spot a toxic relationship from afar. But what happens when we could be the one who is toxic? All it could take is unhealed wounds from the past to make someone toxic, and they don't even realize it because they believe their actions are coming from a place of self-protection. We become so wrapped in our own desires and wants, we do not realize that our actions may hurt others. A mother-in-law could be toxic to her daughter-in-law because she wants the best for her son, and her son to be taken care of in the way she believes works, because that's her only experience. So, time to step back and do a double check on your life. Your shadow prom is to take a hard look inside and ask, what toxic traits do I have and how do they present themselves? Start to look at how you project them onto others. This is a good time to do a query now because you're doing it on your own. And it is the best time because you can repair your relationship now before they are beyond repair. Use the Grabovia code 391194886061 to foster the energies of understanding for your session. If you want to know how to use Grabovia codes in your sessions for meditating or journaling, check out the link above or in the description box below. I hope this session gives you something to work on. Pick up your shadow journals and let's start finding our inner and true authentic self. I'll try to post more pick a card every week depending on my schedule, so that gives you some time to sit with your shadow prom and begin working on positive changes to a new life. If you found something new about yourself, don't forget to comment and share with others as well. This not only helps build courage and self-esteem, but it also encourages others that they are not alone. I'll see you in the next session. Namaste.
The card you picked is called Fragmentation and is represented by the waxing crescent moon. It is illustrated in what seems to be a cold iron coat rack and is topped by a broken stone statue of a fairy visible only from the chest up. Stone roses are at her breast, a crack cuts her face and her body while a jewel is on her forehead and silvery insect wings stand at her back. A crescent golden slice of the moon is like a halo behind her head. It is possible to glimpse, suspended in the void, also the hands of the stone fairy. The sentence that resonates with this card is, losing a sense of self is a crescendo of noise, a decrescendo of pain, and a prelude to nothingness. This card asks, what if I were to cut off my legs? Would I still be me? If I were to carve out my heart, would I still be me? If my flesh would turn to stone, if my lungs were emptied of air, if my dreams to fly were to be forced in chains and hang out like an expired balloon, would I still be me? I fought and I lost, broken beyond recognition. Not by the shallow sight of bystanders who can pity but who can't understand. I cannot even recognize myself, through the sobs, through the tears, and when silence finally comes, through the empty motion and conventional spouts, who did this to me? I did. Maybe, maybe not. What is broken can be mended, not so that it returns whole, but at least until it tells his name anew. My name. And who will do that for me? I will.
This card talks about lost hopes and dreams. Oftentimes, we lose our sense of purpose as we try to navigate in the uncharted waters we call life. The more we modify our behavior, traits, hopes, and dreams so that we can fit into society, the more we lose who we really are. We forget sometimes the hopes and dreams we had as a little child and probably still do today. How can we find this again? Use the shadow prompt. What gives my life meaning, purpose, and makes me feel valued? Importantly, is there anything on your list that you have not done or have procrastinated to do because life got in the way? Now is your sign that you should do it. What would you like to be recognized for? What do you want to be remembered for? Use the Grabovia code 918-794-8181 to self-heal yourself in this session. If you want to know how to use Grabovia codes in your sessions for meditating or journaling, check out the link above or in the description box below. I hope this session gives you something to work on. Pick up your shadow journals and let's start finding our inner and true authentic self. I'll try to post more pick a card every week depending on my schedule, so that gives you some time to sit with your shadow prompt and begin working on positive changes to a new life. If you found something new about yourself, don't forget to comment and share with others as well. This not only helps build courage and self-esteem, but it also encourages others that they are not alone. I'll see you in the next session. Namaste.